Hello friends, so today we can discuss the first 4 problems from the latest AdCoder Beginner Contest 194. So let's start. The first problem is Scream. The first problems of AdCoder are very trivial. You just have to follow the given instructions. It states that you have 4 conditions in which you are given the milk solid percentage and the milk fat percentage, and according to the given percentage you have to call it an ice cream, ice milk, lactose ice or flavored ice. So you just have to take the input of all the values of A and B, and just according to the if else condition you just have to find out under which category it will fall. I hope you understand it. It's a very simple or trivial problem. If you still have any doubts, I will mention the code, all the problems in the description. You can check those codes out also. So let's move on to the second problem. The second problem is you are actually given A and B. There are 2 tasks A and B, and there are n employees. Okay, as you can see there are n employees in A and B. So like each employee can do the Ath work and the Bth work, and the time it will take to complete the Ath and Bth work is given. So it means that the first employee will complete the A work in 8 hours or in the second work in 5 hours and so on. Now what you actually do here is you have 2 options. You can either give both these works to the same employee or give both of these works to different employees. If you give the both of these work to the same employee, what will happen is the first employee, the employee which is given both the works, will first complete the first task and the second task, because like he has to complete both the tasks. So total time will take A plus B. You can just assume it to be a real life example. If you are having 2 assignments, you will complete the first assignment in maybe like 4 hours and the second assignment in 10 hours. So the total it will take you is 14 hours. But if both these assignments are given to different persons, both will start working on the same assignment, and the first person will complete the assignment in 4 hours and the second person will complete in the 10 hours. So after which hour both the assignments are completed, after the maximum of both of them, because both have started at the same time, and the first will complete after 4 hours and the second will complete after 10 hours. So like after 10 hours eventually both the assignment will be over. But if you are given the both assignment to be done by yourself only, then you have to complete both the assignments, so one by one. So 4 plus 8, 10, it's equal to 40. I hope you get the point. So you just have to find out among all of the possible cases what is the minimum time it will take to complete all the or both the assignments. So yes, because the constraints are very small, you can do this in O of n square, in which what you can do here is you can find out among all the possible cases in which you'll give the first assignment to first person and the second assignment to first person. The first assignment to first person and the second assignment, the first assignment to first person, the second assignment to first person, the first assignment to first person, second assignment to second person, the first assignment to first person, the second assignment to third person, and so on. Now because when both of these assignments are same, then you'll add the total AI plus BI. If both assignments are different, you'll do a maximum AI BI. Okay, I'll show you the code part. It's also very simple. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, take the input of all of the values and then iterate over all the possible. As you can see, they have 2 for loops. If I and J are same, which means that you assign to the same person, you'll add it, and if they are different, you'll do a maximum of it, and then you have to just minimize over all the possible answers, and that's answer. Okay, the C problem is you are given that you are given n numbers, as you can see, and you have to find out the summation of every pair of numbers you can find out, and just take a square of that. The subtraction, like just take take every pair from these numbers and just do a subtraction of that number and take a square of those answer and just add all those answer, and that's the whole problem. You cannot do this in O of n square just to take every pair, because n is pretty large, but AI is small and AI is up to like from -200 to 200. So what you can do in this problem is you just have to find out that if you take every 2 pair, okay, in this AI, if you just take out to every 2 pair and subtract out their values, what will be the answer? Now the first thing you can observe is if you have 2 pairs, let's assume that I have some number like 2, 2, 4, 4. If you take this pair, which is 2, 2, it's fine. If you take the number which are same, then the answer to be turn out to be 0, because if you subtract them out, it will 0, so they are not counted. But if you take 2, 4, 4 minus 2 or 2 minus 4, both are same because we are doing a whole square of it. Okay, so 2 minus 4 or 4 minus 4, 2 minus 4, it's same. But as you can see, if you take out this pair or this pair, the answer will be same. So if you just count out how many 2s are there and how many 4s are there, so how many pairs it can form, like how many pairs it can form, because like you can take every pair, if you just find out how many count is there, which is like ai of 2s and bi of 4s, so you just multiply ai into bi, and what is their subtraction value, which is like 4 minus 2, because for all of these pairs, which is 2 into 2, because there are 2 values of 2 and 2 values of 4, so there are 4 pairs, and for all of those 4 pairs the answer will be 4 minus 2, which is 2. I hope you get the point, because the values are same, so the pair values will always remain the same. So you just have to count out how many pairs will have this value, which is equal to 2. So you just count out using this value. So if you just know the count of every number, you can just find it out by taking every pair. So now, because as you can see the ai value is small, you can just find out a frequency map of all the values and just iterate over. Now because ai is small, you can do it O of n square over ai. Just find out over all the ai, just make a frequency map, and then take for every pair, just which means that maybe I have number 1, some number 1s and some number 3s. So just take out the count of 1s sorry, take out the count of 1s, take out the count of 3s, multiply them, and what is the difference between 3 and 1, which is 2, and that's answer. Just add it over all the values. I hope you get the point. So now I'll show you the code part. As you can see, so because you can also make a map out of it if you want, because if you want to store them in an array, there is no negative indexes, because the ai value can be negative also. So the best way is, because ai can be minus also, like ai can be minus 200 to 200. So for minus 200 values, what you can do here is the ai values come from minus 200 to 200. So it's better to just add 200 on both sides, so it will become from 0 to 400. I hope you get the point. So what will happen is, for every value of ai which is inputted, will add 200 to it, such that it will shift by 200 points, such that all the values will be between from 0 to 400. And if you either subtract them out, because both the values are added by 200, it will not matter much, because if you subtract 2 minus 4 or 202 minus 204, the answer will turn out to be same. So that's what we're doing here. So as you can see, we are taking the input of all the values and adding 200 to it, and then we are adding the frequency value. Then we're just doing an O of n square, in which over, like, we're just iterating over the 400 values, and then what we are doing, we're adding it over the frequency of ai and aj, and we're just doing a square, because as you can see, ai into aj into 4 minus 2 square, because this value, which is 4 minus 2 square value, is added how much time? ai minus aj times. So that's what we're doing. This ai minus aj value is adding this much time, so j minus I, it's just like j minus I whole square. Okay, and just doing an addition of all the values, and that's the answer. I hope you get the point also of this. So now the fourth problem is based on expected value, in which it states that you have some nodes in this. Okay, now you start from any given node, let's assume this, and then you have a probability to jump from this node to any other node, like to this node, or even to itself. The probability is 1 by p. P means the number of nodes which are there, so you can assume to be n, 1 by n, because obviously, like, it means that there is equal probability to jump from one node to any other node, because there are n options. You can also jump on yourself, so there are n options, so the probability of jumping to any node is 1 by n, obviously. Okay, now if you jump on the same node, then it's fine, you don't go anywhere. But if you jump to some another node, you're just connected by a bidirectional edge, you can assume. Okay, bidirectional edge, if you jump from this, and now this is your starting point. Now you have again 1 by n probability to jump from this to any other node. So obviously you can go back to this point, or stay at this point, or go to this node again, or go to any other node. So you will continue doing this thing, in which you will start from any node and go to some other node, draw a bidirectional edge, then go to some other node, such that you will keep on doing this, such that all of the nodes are connected. So the graph which will form is connected graph. So now you just have to output what is the expected number of times you have to do this. Okay, so is that, or not the expected number of times, expected number of times you have to do this operation until the graph become connected. Obviously the graph become connected. Now what is the number of times you'll have to do this? Now I always see connected expected types of problem is because you see probability is 1 by n. So expected value of x is like generally 1 over probability. Okay, so it's like n. You can assume it to be like this ki, if you flip a coin, the chances of getting a head is probability is 1 by 2. But you can also see this in a different manner in which in 2 turns there is a, like, it is expected that you get a head. There's a probability that you get a head in one, the probability is 1 by 2, but if you turn it into expected form, it means that in 2 turns or in 2 chances, which is like I put it 1 over 1 by 2, which is turned out to be this, which means that it is expected that in 2 turns you will get a head. Okay, so that's the whole thing. Now, so I hope you get this point now. So what you actually do here is, let's assume that you start at some point, some node, this. Now if you go to the back to this node, then it is of no use. So getting back to this node is like 1 by p, like one, like as you can see, if I want to go to any other node which is left, okay, so because if I just remove down this probability to go back to my current node again, I can go to any other node and the probability will be 1 minus 1 by p. Why? Because there is only one chance to get the back. So because there are p, like p means like, or you can say it is n, because there are n nodes, there is only one node on which I don't want to go, which is myself. I want to go to any other node which is beneficial, because that will increase my answer to come close to the final answer. So if I just remove down this answer, this 1 by n value, I can go to any other value. So the probability of going to any other node except to myself is 1 minus 1 by n. I hope you get the point, which is like n minus like this. Okay, so this is the first value, and if you like, because if you want to find out the expected value, it's n over n minus 1, because you just reverse it out. Now you plus it out because you want to keep on adding probabilities, because this is the first thing. Now if you are the second, like now if you go to this point again, maybe you go to this node. So now if you go to this node, what is the rest nodes you are left? N minus 2 nodes, because now the probability is you have to go to any nodes except these 2 nodes. So how many nodes are left? N minus 2 nodes are left. So it's like this only, like you just remove down this, so 1 minus 2 by n, because now there are 2 nodes which are left you don't want to go to. So except these 2 nodes, how many nodes are left? 2, like f1, like n minus 2 nodes are left. So this is the probability of going to the rest of the n by 2 nodes. Okay, so because rest nodes are remaining is n minus 2, so this is the probability of going to any other nodes except these 2 nodes, and if you reverse it out, so it will become n upon n minus 2. So you keep on adding it, the value of n over n minus 1, n minus 2, till this value, which is like this ith value, becomes equal to n minus 1, so that it will become equal to n. If it becomes n minus n, it will become 0, which is not false. So you will get to a point in which you come to the final node, in which you cannot go to any other node because you have completed the graph. So you just have to add n over n minus 1 plus n over n minus 2 plus n over n minus 3 and so on till n over 1, and that's the answer for this problem also. I hope you get the point. You just use a double, and according to that you can just find out, just iterate from 1 till n minus 1 and just add the answer to n over n minus n, and that's it. Sorry, I hope you get the point of this problem also. If you still have not, you can mention in the comment box. I'll see you next one. Till then, keep coding. Bye.